Hi, this is Blaine Cluton for Cluton Law, answering a question that's less frequently asked, which is, can one spouse disinherit the other? Can my husband write me out of his will? The answer to this is yes, but there's going to be a lot of factors that go into this, and it ultimately becomes kind of an it depends. One of the things to first look at is whether there's any sort of a prenuptial agreement. And of course, you can contract away your rights in Oregon. The second thing to look at, ultimately, if one spouse has disinherited the other spouse, is at the elective share and the surviving spouse's right to receive shares in Oregon. I'm going to put a link to the Oregon Revised Statutes that talk about this section. Ultimately, there's going to be several different terminologies and phrases that are used within this section. One of the big ones is, what is the augmented estate? And then applying and receiving the right to an elective share. And then one last consideration is ultimately going to be separated spouses, where they're going to look at whether separated at the time of the decedent's death and the length of time that they had been separated before that. What this essentially comes down to is, if the surviving spouse does make this election to this elective share for surviving spouse's rights, it may become a percentage that they're going to receive as an elective share, depending on what amount their surviving spouse's estate actually is. This area of law is fairly complex. So if you're in the situation where your decedent spouse, your husband or wife, has passed away, and you find out that they've written you out of the will, at that point, you really need to talk to an attorney and find out what the best remedy is for you moving forward. If you're in a situation where you found out that your spouse has written you out of the will and you had no idea about it, then honestly, you've got some other issues that you need to work out as far as honesty within the marriage. And that's really, as far as the core of the issue, what you're going to need to work on, rather than working out the legalities and technicalities of getting around it. And if you've written a prenuptial agreement and executed that prenuptial agreement, then you should already be well aware of what's happening. If you have further questions about surviving spouses' elective shares, or in general disinheritance between spouses, please talk to an attorney. This area of law is complex, and depending on what you're trying to do within the will itself, it may not end up having the legal effect you want it to unless you're working with a legal expert. This is Blaine Cluton for Cluton Law. Thank you.